All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Here's the deal. I am going to be showing you inequality word problems today. Inequality word problems, they're kind of difficult. They're all real world based. So you're going to have to use some logic in these. You're going to have to really think what you're doing. They're a little bit difficult, but once you get the idea, it becomes a lot easier. All right. So today your objective is you should be able to read and solve inequality word problems. And I, as a teacher, I'm going to know you have it when you correctly answer both of your exit ticket questions that you show me. So let's get started. All right, you're going to need this graphic organizer. Check Echo to see what number it is. Sometimes those change. So I didn't put the number down, but you need to go ahead and grab this, pause the video, and continue it when you are ready to get started. All right, we have example number 1. Example number 1 is a little bit tricky, so we want to start by paying real close attention. All right, so it says Molly is going to the grocery store. She has $8 in her bank account. If X represents the amount of money she can spend, write and graph an inequality that can be used to determine how much money Molly can spend. All right, so once again, she has $8 in her bank account. So that's really important. She's got $8. Now, here's the deal. We're going to use X to represent the amount of money she can spend. Can she spend more than $8? No, she can't because she only has $8 in her bank account. So we have to be really careful. We're going to go down and we're going to look at our graph first. This is actually the easiest way to do it. So let's look at our graph and let's find 8. Now, I know I can spend 8, right? I can spend 8, so it's equal to, and it's less than or equal to 8. All right? But let's think about this. We have to use a little bit of logic. Can I spend less than $0 at the grocery store? No. Because less than $0 would be a refund, and I'm not getting a refund, so none of these are in play. Okay? So the least amount of money I can spend is 0. Now, can I spend $0 at the grocery store? Yeah, if I don't buy anything and I walk in and walk right back out, I can spend $0. So realistically, the only thing I can spend is between $0 and $8. Okay? Which means my inequality is actually going to have a starting and stopping point, right? And so remember, I'm going to put in my inequality, and this one doesn't have any arrows because it can't go on forever and ever. So now I need to write my inequality, and this is where it's a little bit tricky. Okay, when we write our inequality, we're going to use our variable because it has a starting and stopping. We're going to pretend that our variable is in the middle. Our variable is X. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pretend like I have this X at 0. All right, if I was writing an inequality for that, okay, I would say that I am going to be spending greater than 0, right? So let's try this. So I'm going to be spending X is going to be greater than or equal to 0, correct? Because I'm going to be spending greater than or equal to 0. X is also, if I imagined it on the other side, X is less than or equal to 8. Now, I have to put those things together. So this is where it gets difficult. Okay, X is less than or equal to 8. So we're going to put 8 on one side and 0 on the other, and we're going to use our X in the middle. Okay, we are going to spend less than or greater than 8. So X is less than or greater than 8. All right, now this one right here does not look the same as how I have it here. So what do I need to do? Well, I have to be very careful. All right. 0, I have to flip that one over. So it's going to be like this. Whew. So X is also greater than or equal to 0. So 0, all right, is less than X, less than or equal to X, and X is less than or equal to 8. Okay? So, what that tells me is I can spend between 8 and $0. Remember, I flipped this because it doesn't look the same when I moved it up here. Okay? I had to flip it over. All right, that means flip everything, including the sign. That's where it gets difficult. Let's move on to number 2. I'll give you some more examples of that. All right, number 2. I need to buy dog food for Zola. The cheapest bag of dog food is $8.75. If X represents the cost of dog food, write an inequality to represent how much money will be spent on dog food. So, we're going to spend some money on some dog food. So, how are we going to do that? Well, the cheapest bag is $8.75. So, if I buy the cheapest bag, I'm going to spend $8.75, which means I need to put a circle. Can I spend $8.75? Yes, I can. So I'm saying that's probably right in here. $8.75, it's between 8 and 9. All right. But I can also spend more money because I have bags of dog food that cost more. So I'm going to go ahead and put my arrow. And I'm going to put my arrow to the right to make my inequality. And boom, there it is. All right. That's it, because I can spend $20, I can spend $30, I can spend $45 on a bag of dog food. All right? So X is greater than or equal to $8.75. And that's my inequality. So X is greater than or equal to $8.75. Much easier than example number 1. Let's move on to example number 2. Okay, this one. At Goshen Middle School, the youngest student is 10 years old, and the oldest student is 15 years old. If X represents the students' ages, write and graph an inequality that can be used to represent the age of students at Goshen Middle School. All right, so first of all, we need to make a graph. And this doesn't have numbers this time, which sucks, but our problem does tell us what numbers we need. We need 10 and we need 15. So we need between 10 and 15. So I'm going to find, let's say, here. It doesn't matter where you start, but 10 is the lowest I need. So I'm going to do 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then over here I'm going to do 9, okay? Now, the oldest age is 15. So can you be 15 and be at the middle school? Yes, you can. So it needs to be a closed circle because you can be 15. All right. The youngest age is 10. Whew. Yay. All right. So now we need to write this inequality again. Now I have 2 points. So because I have 2 points, I'm going to have 2 different inequality symbols, and I'm going to use X in the middle. Okay. So X is in the middle. And then remember, I'm going to go ahead and fill this graph in because those are the possible locations. And now I need to be careful. The first thing I'm going to do is imagine that X is at 10. If X is at 10, it would be greater than or equal to 10. And if X was over here, X would be less than or equal to 15. Now I need to transfer them. This one goes straight up here. X is less than or equal to 15. And this one, remember, it is backwards. So I need to be able to flip the X over. So everything is going to be flipped. That means the 10 is going to be over here. The symbol is going to flip as well, just like that. Okay? So X is greater than 10, but less than 15. So X is greater than or equal to 10, and X is less than or equal to 15. And this happens to be my answer. Okay? Little difficult. Make sure you're paying attention. If you have questions about this, you need to come see me. All right. To ride the carousel at Potawatomi Zoo, a child must be at least 36 inches tall, but must be under 60 inches. If X represents the height of the child, write and graph an inequality that can be used to represent the height range to ride the carousel. So it's between 36 and 60, right? You got to be at least 36, but under 60. So can you be 60? No, you can't. And this time, once again, we don't have any inches. So we need to put those in. So since we have to put them in, and I notice that there is not, the difference between 60 and 34 or 36 is 24 different inches. And I know that there's not 24 different markings. So I'm going to count by 5s because I think it'd be easy. And I know I need to start at 36 at the minimum, but I'll start over at 30 just to be safe. So I'll do 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and 75. Oh, I got 80 as well. All right, so I got all those inches. Now, okay, you must be at least 36 inches. So can you be 36 inches? Yes. So we need to find 36, and we need to put a closed dot because it can be 36. Okay? The next thing says you must be under 60. So can you be 60? No, you have to be under, which means it's an open dot. Whew, fun. All right. Now, what do we do? Well, we know we're in between those. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put in between. And it says, once again, to use X. So we're going to put our X down here in the middle of our inequality. Yay, right? All right. Now, this is one of those where it's difficult. The way I told you to do this, imagine that X is down here. and we just look at our inequality and we look at the directions it's going, okay, we're going to the right, so the arrow would be pointing to the right, so it's less than or equal to, x is greater than or equal to 35. And then if it was over here, we'd have x is less than 60. So now, remember, we're going to bring this number straight up because the x is in the correct location. It looks exactly like it needs to be. So x is less than 60. And when we bring this one up, we can't because the x is on the wrong side. So if it's x is on the wrong side, everything has to be flipped over, including the symbol. Okay, so everything flipped over, that means 35 goes over here. The x is already there, and we need to flip this sign to make it going from pointing to the right to pointing to the left. And we put our arrow there with our underlined symbol. So this tells us that x is greater than or equal to 35, but less than 60. That means you must be greater than or equal, it's 36, not 35, greater than or equal to 36 and less than 60 inches. I corrected it. There we go. All right, those are 4 examples. I've shown you 4. It's time for you to try some on your own. All right, independent practice. Pause the video. Start. In just a second, I'm going to give you the answers. Go. All right, I'm back. Here we go. It said Disney World offers discounted tickets to children between the ages of 2 and 10. Okay, so discounted tickets between the ages of 2 and 10. That means you can be 2 and you can be 10 and you get a discount. So it's going to be between 2 and 10. You want to write an inequality with x. So if you're going to do that, you should have had x. Okay, and don't forget your line in between because it can be in this area. Remember, I was going to say x is greater than or equal to 2, and x is less than or equal to 10. So we're going to pull these up. I know it's hard to see. I'm going to pull them straight up. X is less than or equal to 10, and we're going to flip this one. So instead of falling to the right, it's to the left, and we're going to put 2. There you go. That should have been your answer. Need some help? Come see me. This one, the coldest temperature this winter in Goshen was -8. So you need to find -8. Go ahead. It was -8. And the warmest temperature was 9. So that was 9, which means it can be 9. So they're both like that. The range is between -8 and 9. So we're going to go around here and do this. Okay. We need to be able to write our inequality for x. So remember, we're going to put x in the middle because we have 2 different things. And now we need to rewrite them. So I'm going to go down here. X is arrow pointing to the right, equal sign, -8. And over here, we're going to have our x, and our symbol is going this way, and it's an equal, and it's 9. So we need to go ahead and plug those up straight up. This one is good, so we're going to put it back in. This one needs to be flipped over, so that one is going to be -8. And we're going to flip our symbols, and it should be like that. That should have been your 2 answers. Hopefully you got them. Ladies and gentlemen, exit ticket time. Sorry this video took a little bit longer. It's a hard one. Here's your exit ticket. You need to solve these 2 problems. Pause the video, do it, show it to me when you're done. Hopefully you get them correct. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.